What's going on, everybody? Welcome out to the second Hail Mary podcast. I'm your host, Matthew, and as you can see in the thumbnail, it's football season. Well, almost. We're getting closer and closer to football season, as if you would have seen last Thursday, it was the first ever preseason game for the NFL between Dallas and Cardinals. And honestly, what I can say about that is I enjoyed watching the game. I don't know why, because last year I couldn't watch a game at all in any NFL game, simply just because, everybody knows about the Colin Kaepernick situation, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But I actually enjoyed the game. But if I was to say there could be two possibilities of me watching the entire length of the game, number one, it was Dallas and Arizona playing. When you have two franchises like that competing against each other, and with the talent that they have on both sides, that's probably one reason why I watched the entire game. But another thing that I had going on was, simply the fact that, hang on now, I've had a little difficulty streaming all this, and I think I finally got it working right now. But I'm trying to get this all situated. Welcome out to the second Hail Mary podcast. So yeah, but like I was saying before, because it was Arizona and Dallas was one of the main reasons I watched that. If it was probably like Jacksonville and Cleveland, or Baltimore and Miami, I probably wouldn't have watched the game. But I don't know. I thought it was a good game, and it's honest. There's a reason why it's one of the most watched programs on television. It's Sunday Night Football, the only thing that you can watch on Sunday nights during the season. And hopefully there's going to be more games like this going down the road, and hopefully we'll be able to see more games like this. But just to give you a quick refresher, I uploaded a few videos to my channel this past week. Of course, was the first Hail Mary podcast. I gave you my predictions for the AISA and the Alabama High School Athletic Association. We got up from 1A, 2A, and 3A, and so I'm going to be giving you 4A, 5A, 6A, and 7A starting tomorrow, and it'll go all the way till Thursday. This upcoming Friday will be my first ever high school football prediction for this year. The games that are going to be going on this week, for some of you who don't know, is the SECIS. That is the Southeastern Conference Independent School Association. And most of the games that is going to be going on right there, they start this upcoming Friday, August 11th. And we start with Frederica Academy out of Georgia versus Parkland Academy out of Mississippi. They'll play at 2:30. And at 5 o'clock we have Terrell Academy from Georgia versus Trinity Burns Collegiates from South Carolina. And at 7:30, we have Bessemer Academy from Birmingham, Alabama. Will play Lamar School from Meridian, Mississippi. And those are the three games that are going on that Saturday. This Friday. And all the games will be played at the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. Now, for the Saturday games, they are the same times as what they will be Friday. But Saturday, Autauga Academy from Prattville, Alabama, will face Valwood School from Georgia. At 5 o'clock is Brookwood School versus Pillow Academy from Mississippi, and Brookwood School from Georgia. And the final game will be Escambia Academy versus First Baptist School from South Carolina. So most of these games were rematches from last year. I know Bessemer Academy and Lamar School was a rematch. Bessemer won that game, I believe, 30-14, and Escambia and First Baptist is another rematch. And I think Escambia won that game 35-7, 35-8. I'm not real clear on the score, but those are the games that are going to be happening this upcoming Friday and Saturday, and I believe they are the first in the country the first games in the country for high school football. And they ought to be real good games, and they're going to be interesting to watch. So if you're in that general area, you need to go and watch it. It should be a classic. And let's see what else we're going to talk about. We got more football predictions will be coming up in a few couple weeks. I've got the Big 12, the ACC. I'm looking over here at my calendar, and it's a big calendar. It's like one of those draw-ons that you use. You know, I'm trying to make this a good business, and you always want to be prepared when working. But yeah, we have the Big 12, ACC, Big 10, Pac-12, and the SEC for just those 5 conferences. So that will be starting in a couple more weeks. But also something interesting that I released was this past Saturday I released the highlight tape for last year's AISA 2A state championship game between the Escambia Academy Cougars and the Autauga Academy Generals. And that's I'm going to release more videos like that this upcoming season. I do know that I will be going to a few Thursday and Friday night football games, and as soon as I get done with the videoing, with the videotaping, I will, edit it and release it on my YouTube channel for the next few weeks as soon as possible. And I try to keep this as a regular schedule, like every Sunday around this time. It will be the Hail Mary podcast for every Sunday. Every Monday starting the August 14th, we will have another podcast coming up called Bama Sports. And Bama Sports is going to be what happened in the Alabama Football Sports Association, whether it was high school or college. And even though Alabama doesn't have an NFL team, I'll be giving you the stats for every player that has played in an Alabama college and that is playing in the NFL right now. So we've got that going on. We've got a few other things that I'm going to try to work out. And starting this upcoming Friday, I'll give you my high school football prediction, which will be every Friday, released around the same time that I usually release my videos, around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Starting the 23rd of August, I will be releasing my first college football prediction for the week ahead. And just like I've said it before, I'm ready for college football. I'm ready for high school football. I'm ready for NFL football. I'm ready for football season to kick off in general, and I hope you are too. This has been honestly one of the longest summers I've known with anticipating for football season, and it's just right around the corner, and I'm ready for it. I hope you're ready for it. Let's see what we're going to talk about. Getting into some college football news that we just found out. A few big news ahead was the Alabama football player was arrested I believe in Tuscaloosa. I'm not sure, but excuse me. Yeah, he was arrested for a DUI charge, and according to Nick Saban, he will be able to play for that game. People have mixed opinions about it. I have an opinion about it. In my opinion, he shouldn't be playing, but that's why I'm not coaching. And then there was the Florida State kid, I believe wide receiver, who has felony charges for theft, and he is suspended indefinitely. So those are actually the two biggest stories that we have had starting out this year. And last year and the year before, there were stories popping out from April all the way to football season. So I'm kind of glad that players are under control for the most part, at least, and just taking care of themselves and putting a good example in front of the school. But to give you my opinion, the player for Alabama should be suspended for the game. I mean, a DUI charge is a big crime, in my opinion. I mean, driving under the influence, no one should be drinking and driving. That's like rule 1 right there. But I don't know. Saban, he has his policies. Other football coaches have their policies, so I'm not in charge of that. And maybe it should change, maybe it should not, but I don't know about that. Let's see right here. That's pretty much going to do it for today, guys. Let's see. I'm trying to think right here. I've got nothing else to talk about, but I'm trying to make this. I'm trying to be prepared for stuff like this. I'm not usually good with on-the-scene situations, but when I prepare for something, I'm usually great at it. It's like if I have a speech or I have to come in front of a crowd in a couple of weeks, I will have notes prepared. I'll have the speech prepared. I will practice the speech. That's how good I am when it comes to public speaking. But on-the-spot stuff, I'm not good at it at all. But yeah. So that's actually going to do it for this edition of the Hail Mary podcast. Thank you guys for joining in, and hopefully to see you next time. And hey, football season's right around the corner, and I hope you're ready for it. So see you guys.